Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Hooked on Bassin'. Today I want to talk about the 6 baits that I like to fish in small ponds here in Florida. One of the baits are a small crankbait. This is a KVD crankbait. This is in the sexy shad color. As you can see, it's pretty beat up. He has no eyes on him. I'm actually fixing to go get me some more of these because springtime's coming up here in Florida. Other baits I like to fish are jerk baits. For instance, this is a Bass Pro Shops, oh man, I can't even see it, XPS, and it shines really good in the water. I like to fish this in water that has like 3 or 4 foot of visibility because it gives off some really good flashes. Not only does it do that, but it doesn't dive very deep. And a lot of the ponds that are here in Florida, they're not real deep. I do know of one pond that drops down to maybe 15 feet, but that's still not very deep. Another one I like to fish is another type of crankbait. This is the Rapala X-Rap, and this one is in the 4-inch version in the glass minnow. And this one I haven't thrown too terribly much, but when I did throw it, I hooked a big 5-pound bass, and that was before I started doing YouTube. And it wasn't necessarily big, but that's big for small ponds. So after he ate that bait, I then picked it back up and flung it back out there and caught me another 3.5. Other baits are just like these, the Yum Dingers. This is in the watermelon green pumpkin chartreuse. And these are, yep, they still have the green tails on them. They're the, I'm pulling out for you. It's almost like a Senko, and it's got the green tail. And these baits work very well in small ponds around here. You can wacky rig them, you can Texas rig them, you can free line them out there. You can drop shot them. You can do a lot of stuff with stick baits, especially here in Florida. And the reason I picked that one is because, like I said, it's got a very slow sink when it's being free lined out there, and it also just attracts a bunch of bass here in Florida. Here's another one. This is called Key Lime Pie, and I have caught quite a few fish on these. This is actually about my 5th pack I've had in 2016. I understand it's 2017, but we just moved, so it was kind of hard to fish as we were in the moving process. And I actually haven't been freshwater fishing since we moved. We've been doing a lot of saltwater fishing. I grew up saltwater fishing, and it's something I love. If you guys want to see some tackle reviews, or even when I go saltwater fishing, of course I'm going to record, but if you guys want to see a lot of that, leave a comment down below. Like I said, I grew up saltwater fishing. I actually went yesterday, but the only reason I did not post a video is because here in Florida we've had bad winds coming through here, and yesterday was one of the worst windy days I've had in a long time here. I mean, I have audio of the wind from yesterday, and I mean, I'm filming on a Hero 4 session, and it was still terrible. And I mean, it was like 30-mile-an-hour gusts. We did end up catching a few speckled trout that day, and actually the biggest one that was caught was right on legal limit. So I think it was a school of them that come through there, and I kept missing a bunch of hits because I had the rod down and I was free lining the shrimp. So what they were doing is the wind was pushing the line over, and I couldn't feel the bite, so I just had to put the rod tip as close as I could to the water and then just started feeling them. The other bait I like to fish is, this one I accidentally picked up. I didn't even know what they were. I seen them, I was like, wow, these things look cool. So I bought them, and I fell in love with them. They're called a Yum bait fish, and they almost look like a baby bass. And the way I like to fish these, it's kind of like a stick bait. You can Texas rig them, Senko style, like a wacky rig. You can do a lot of stuff with these bait fish. And if you look, they look round, like they're almost round, but they're not. They're like halfway. And this side's flat and this side's rounded on top, and it's kind of got the chartreuse tail too. And if you don't want them there, you can cut them off or do whatever. But a lot of times I leave them on just because they do give it a little bit more of an attracting look to them when they're down there on the bottom. I like to throw them like through the lily pads and up through the hydrilla, because here in Florida and a lot of the ponds, they're drying up because how hot Florida is. So what we do is fish the thick hydrilla pads, and you can heavy cover punch them with the really heavy weights and everything to it, and it works. And these things actually do work when you're heavy punching them, punching through heavy cover with the big heavy weights, because they just do. They're just a small profile bait, and once they get through there, the bass are like, oh, okay, free easy meal. Because when they're being fished, especially free line too, they look like a dying bait fish. It's how they sink. Just a really, really slow sink to them, and they catch fish. Like I said, I picked them up on accident. I actually found them at Walmart. I think I paid 99 cents for them, and it wasn't a whole pack, so I was like, eh. So I put them back down, and I ended up, I guess, picking them back up once I picked up another pack, and then that's when we headed out to Gander, and I bought some more. And yeah, if you guys want to see more reviews like this on which baits I like to fish at different times or different lakes, especially when it's like in the summertime. Summertime's going to be probably a lot more videos than what I'm doing now, because I'm still in high school and filming with school and trying to keep everything up and going. It's not very easy, but I'm doing it because I enjoy doing this, and this is something I want to do for a long time. I appreciate the support I've already got in the past month I've been on YouTube, but go ahead and leave comments down below on what you want to see, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe button.